Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too, as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, and live the life we love. Yeah, well, don't be depressed. We still have to be spiritual warriors of consciousness. And to that end, got to keep your sense of humor. These two guys are talking. One says, "Oh man, I had a fantastic restaurant I went to. You got to try this." He says, "Oh, listen, it's nothing like the restaurant we get to. It's fabulous." So the guy says, "Well, what's the name of it?" "Oh, the name of the restaurant? Like it slips my mind. What's the name of that like red flower that they make a poppy? No, no, that's not it. Um, hmm, hmm, hmm. It looks like the hibiscus. No, no, it's not a hibiscus flower either. Um, what is it? I just can't think of it. Uh, what's that? What's the one that has like thorns all over it? A rose? Yeah. Hey, Rose, my wife, tell me, what was the name of that restaurant we ate at?" All right. So for my journaling people, what we got to do is how do you keep your wonder child alive so that you're not reduced to middle C, but you have the whole keyboard? How do you keep your wonder child alive so you're playing with a full keyboard and not reduced just to middle C? Things can take the wind out of your sails. You have to find a way of renewing. And of course, one part from the yoga point of view, I bring everything back to this, is learn what it is to be content. So you do your best. That's the only way you can be content. My teacher says it's as bad for you to forge ahead out of dissatisfaction and insatiable desire for progress as it is to remain in mediocrity and be satisfied with minimal progress. If you watched my tapes over the years, you realize I keep reminding myself, number one, and then everyone. Yoga articulates goals and gives you practices to substantiate the claims. That's what provides experience to support the vision. You continue to gain expertise while avoiding thinking that you're an expert. So remember, your own education does not end with a diploma, and I can't explain why, although this will get back eventually to affirmation. Increase your vocabulary proficiency. Not that we judge anybody for talking less or using big words or anything. No, just use your skill at using your words to communicate as clearly as you can. Now, mythologically speaking, deities are supposed to open up. They say, Joseph Campbell says, deities are supposed to be transparent to transcendence. It's supposed to take you beyond, open you up. Otherwise, when we use the word God, it becomes a roadblock, a concretization, something that we think we understand, instead of something that takes us beyond the mind's capacity to even conceive of what this is. They use the symbol of the wilderness sometimes as the example of the ego's being exhausted by not having its own resources. It realizes it's impotent by itself. Life seems meaningless then. You become alienated, but that alienation is a necessary prelude to the awareness of one's attempt at a deeper self-realization. So I can say for everybody, and I've said this all along, we all get renewed and healed by our contact with the natural instinct of life. Go out in nature. It's all encompassing, and it's both brighter and darker than what your ego would like. It'll always confront us with problems we would rather avoid. So that brings us back to relationships, because if you have relationships, and you probably do, and some of them are not really smooth, and they probably aren't, then you got to remember, cussing, fussing, mussing, that's not going to change anybody else's behavior, especially if you think they ought to change. We're the ones who ought to change. Remember, other people are probably perfectly happy doing what they're doing. The challenge is learning to accept them, even when we don't like them, like what they're doing, and still love them as they are. Tough to do, right? Remember Groucho Marx used to say, I'm not crazy about reality, but still, it's the only place I can get a decent meal. So pay attention to your thoughts. Your thoughts wield great power. Remember, everybody's extremely suggestible. So don't think selfish things. Otherwise, we end up suffering based on our own mental set. Even the Dalai Lama would say, no one's doing anything to your mind except you. So your mind is creating the problem. And if you realize that whatever you desire will come to pass, you better remember your spiritual relationships. So put your confidence in spirit, rest in spirit. Never neglect your daily visit with spirit, however you make that happen, because trouble follows whenever you forget that. So, my friends, I hope we can all continue to alter our habits and alter our life, because if we make these mental laws that we have to live under, we might as well try to be free instead of create laws in our head that keeps us in bondage. So I know you may not feel that, but just remember, smiling is to personal contact what oil is to machinery, and every intelligent engineer never neglects lubrication. So keep that smile and remember inwardly that we are all wealthy with respect to all good things. May you find that within yourself.